you doing here? I'm on vacation. I'm at my castle, all right? Do you really, really need comics that bad that you need to bother me in the middle of this? Listen, just watch the video.
West Coast Davengers.
Hello, everybody. My name's Dave. Welcome to the West Coast Avengers.
That is actually how my voice is kind of sounding right now. After I shot those last two episodes, the ones about comic hunting in London, I started to feel real weird, and about 10 hours later, I took a COVID test, and well, I got David-19. Don't worry, you can't get sick through watching a video. The last time we talked, I was leaving good old London to go up to Scotland. My first stop in Scotland is Edinburgh. Yes, I spent 5 days in Edinburgh, which is a favorite city of mine. If you've never been there, it's absolutely stunning. Half the city still looks like the 1800s. Old Town is absolutely beautiful. And then the rest of the city just looks like a nice, quaint city in Europe. I encourage everybody to visit there. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There's a castle literally right in the middle of the city.
For all you MCU fans, you might recognize this little spot right here from Infinity War, where Wanda and Vision are seeing the stuff that's going on in the news, and the battle begins between the two of them and Thanos' goons.
Today's episode is just going to be about Edinburgh and basically the one store that I went to there. There's two stores really in the city proper. There's Forbidden Planet, and then there is Deadhead Comics. Now, the last time I was in Scotland was 2019, and I tried to go to Deadhead, but it was closed. I didn't catch the gentleman's name that owns Deadhead Comics, but I know he's going to be watching this, so what's up, brother? It's such an interesting store. It just deals with old comics and then newer graphic novels. But it's just boxes and boxes of stuff that is just inventory. A lot of it is just unbagged, unboarded, and then some of it's bagged and boarded. A gentleman that worked at Mega City Comics was the one who told me to go to Deadhead. And he said, you'll probably get your hands a little dirty looking through books, but it's a lot of fun. And then he said there's a lot of stuff in the basement. Now, when I went there, I started looking. I started pulling out some books here and there. I think everything was £2. But I did manage to go downstairs. The shop owner warned me that it was full of spiders and that just to be careful because he doesn't want me getting hurt going down the stairs. I said, don't worry about it. I'm not that much of a klutz. Most of this stuff came from Deadhead Comics, these two piles right here. So why don't we watch the footage and then we'll come back and I'll just show you some of the highlights. You'll see a lot of it in this video.
How you doing? I was told this is the store to come dig around and...
Yeah, feel free, mate.
Awesome. Start digging.
Well, here I am getting to work at the bins at Deadhead Comics in Edinburgh, and some of the stuff was in order, some of it wasn't. I did pick up this Goon Metalocalypse crossover book from Dark Horse, two of my favorite properties, and I couldn't pass it up. The Eagle Comics strips there, I just don't know enough about them, and they're bigger, so they would have taken a lot more work to get home, so I didn't buy any, but, I'm sure I'm going to regret that on the back end. I found this one Spawn book, so I pull out my phone here to check my trusty list of what Spawn books that I need for my collection. But I usually buy Spawn, because when you see Todd, you buy Todd. The owner of the shop was playing some online game. I didn't catch what game it was, but it had this weird song playing that sounded like it was auto-tuned to people that were talking while they were playing the game online.
It was real weird and kind of soothing after a while because it had a beat, but you might hear some of that music while I'm looking through this stuff and be like, what the hell is going on? Beats me. So as I was just going to work on these boxes, I was enjoying whatever the hell was going on in the background, and it was fun. Here's looking at you, kid. Little bogey for you. Remember, it is comic book store law that if there is a shop dog or shop cat, you must pet that animal. I could tell that some of these boxes were heavily picked through. I saw this Todd book, but it was a little beat up, so I didn't see Todd by Todd. But what other people leave behind, I find plenty of things in. Like, for example, this Black Panther book with the Frank Cho cover. It's a good book, but I have a couple copies of it, so I didn't need it. I'll leave it for the next person. But I was just kind of doing reconnaissance on these boxes to see what I could find and see what was there.
I need to take my cat to the vet on Friday. She had got checked up.
Now, at this point, I had asked about where the rest of the stuff is, if there was anything else to look at, and he was a little hesitant at first, but then asked if I wanted to go down and look in the basement. And here we are, where I spent most of my time.
Oh, wow.
All right, well,
I'll just let you get on with it, all right?
let's see what I can find. This is crazy. I'll be careful, and I'll be respectful.
Take your time, mate. All right.
All right.
Be careful on the stairs.
Will do. Oh my god, there's spiders. I hate spiders. No, I'm not the smallest person in the world, but there really wasn't a lot of room in this room to move around. So every time I found a book I wanted, I turned around slowly and I put it in a pile on the side. But I decided to look through these boxes over here first because they were the most accessible. And you're going to see a Robert Crumb book. There's a couple copies and I put them back. And I'm not happy about that. Basically, if you're watching this video, don't yell at me for not buying this book. See that box there that says Ultimates? Now I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say it's not in there. But I have to look. I had to look through this box just in case there was an Ultimate Fallout 4 in there, which is the first appearance of Miles Morales. But as you can see, I come really close right here with the Death of Spider-Man book. Fuck, that's close. I hate spiders. It's like Indiana Jones with fucking snakes. Sure, I'll take a first Angela for my troubles. So I finished making a stack. I didn't look through everything the first day, but I did find some really good stuff, and I decided to make my way upstairs. These stairs reminded me of the attic stairs in the house that I grew up in. They always felt like they were going to give out on me at any point in time, but they never did.
Oh, you got him. Well done, son.
Yeah,
You got him off. Well
that was an adventure. It was like Indiana Jones down there. I probably will come back tomorrow. I'm gonna keep looking around up here. It's such a closed-in space. But I'm not a big fan of spiders, but I dealt with it.
Multiple stories are amazing. Multiple stories in
Savage Dragon.
Still intact. I did do a page count when I first looked at the book before I bought it, just to make sure there was nothing missing. There was nothing missing, which is great. Look at, once you get to the middle of this book, look at how the page count just goes up. And believe it or not, well, I guess believe it.
You might have just heard my voice in the background, and that's because I told him about the YouTube channel, and he put one of my episodes on in the store while I was in there. It was really funny, and he really enjoyed it.
Some of the things I say.
This is the return. I brought a flashlight, I brought gloves, and I'm gonna find stuff. I don't think I saw an authority 1. Let's take a look. Hello.
There was so many comics to look through in this basement, and I was having a great time. It was a little tough on my nose down there, a little stuffy, so you might hear me breathing heavy for a little bit. And I was just enjoying looking through it, trying to figure out what I was looking at half the time. But, I know enough that I was able to pick out a whole bunch of good stuff.
6 and 8, I don't think that's anything. Invincible 83, 90. Saga 4.
I hit a couple of boxes that had heavy image comic stuff, and my mind started racing when I hit the Invincibles, and you'll see a Saga book here, and I started daydreaming of finding a Saga 1, finding an Invincible 1. You never know what you're gonna find. I hit a Star Wars box after this, and I started thinking, man, what if I find a Clone Wars #1? Who knows what you're gonna find?
On the film and TV section, there was some Star Wars, but fortunately nothing crazy. Maybe that Conan. Let's see what's in this box. Move some stuff out. Oh, okay.
I got really excited there because I thought that was going to lead to pulling out an NYX3, first appearance of X-23.
You really never know what you're going to find in stuff like this. Oh. That's the first cover. Just take a couple. So they must have all been picked out already. RoboCop Avatar. That's cool. They're all like fucking moist. Darkness Calls, Plague Ships.
Right here, I hit an entire box of Hellboy, which, if you don't know, Hellboy is some of the greatest comics ever made. And there was a bunch of a Seed of Destruction in there, but there wasn't a complete set. There was a whole bunch of incomplete runs, but I did pick out a couple of one-shots. One of the Corbins and the Christmas specials. It was still fun to look through that stuff, even though some of it was damp.
There's Cookie Man 2 and 3, and they're beat up. Okay, I'm getting this. Oh, hi. Yes. Sort of made it to the back, but it's going to be impossible to get through this or get to this. Seeing X-Force, they're all stuck together, which means there's water damage. Yeah, I think this is it. I think I got to everything. At least that's gettable.
About they have so on Nintendo to do the actual, like treasure chests in the shrines. They just say that
I think I got through it, almost all of it, except for the 6 boxes that are in the back in the corner. Couldn't get to those. But I straightened everything out a little bit. I'm gonna keep looking. Can I look through the boxes that are right over there? You're awesome. Thank you. All right, found a couple Spawn books. Some Sandman stuff. And just new stuff. This is another one of those piles that I started hitting Spider-Man from a certain era, and I thought I was going to find like one of those big books, 9/11 issue, Fallout, something big, but no dice, just some good stuff, nothing crazy.
So I went one day, and then the next day I came back. Before I went to the store, I got a bunch of gloves. I got a little flashlight, or a torch as they call it. I dug 2 days in a row down there in the basement. There was 6 boxes in the back that I couldn't get to without taking everything out, and there was not enough room for that. Unfortunately, some of the stuff on the floor had a little water damage. There were a lot of spiders. I didn't freak out too much. It was worth it. It was a lot of fun. That store has a lot of characters. So if you're in Edinburgh, go to Deadhead Comics. Yeah, and dig around. I didn't take everything. I did get a metric fuck ton of Wolverine 88, the first meeting of Wolverine and Deadpool. I actually left a bunch of those copies there, so if you're seeing this, you might be able to find. I bought a bunch of copies of Wolverine 66, the first Old Man Logan. I thought this was cool. There's a bunch of Savage Dragon there, and I got this Savage Dragon 139 with an appearance of Invincible. A couple other Savage Dragons, some low print run Savage Dragons. So somebody must have bought them because there was no first appearance of Phantom X. But I did get a pile of the first cover appearance of Phantom X. This one I was really stoked about because I sold one of these a while ago and I was not able to get it back. But this is Wolverine number 55, which is an EC Comics homage. I believe it's a Shock Suspense Stories cover that it is homaging. This is Greg Land cover. Here's one that I was stoked about. It's a great Art Adams cover. It's Astonishing X-Men number 43. Art Adams White Queen cover. A couple of copies of Milo Manara's X-Woman one-shot with Chris Claremont. Here's a pretty awesome one. Savage Dragon 102, the first preview of Invincible. See, a shop owner, he was really happy seeing the stuff that I pulled out. He didn't care. He's like, oh, you got a number 1? Yeah, and I found a boy's number 1. You don't find that too often anymore. I found an Akira number 30, which I think I might have it, but if I don't, I am collecting a full run of Akira. Bunch of Freddy and Jason and Ash books. Other Friday 13th, he had a bunch of horror stuff I was able to find. This was really interesting. Avatar put out Faust after years and years of it not being a thing anymore. Avatar Fear book, Faust 777 The Wrath. And it's signed by David Quinn and Tim Vigil right there. And I think one of the other cool things that I found was just a bunch of these Nightmare on Elm Street and Texas Chainsaw Massacre books. You just don't find these that often, and I know there's a lot of people that collect that stuff. It's super low print run because I don't think they were just expecting to sell a lot Avatar. I don't think they were ever printing high print runs of stuff. And then just for funsies, I grabbed an X-Force #1 with a Deadpool card because you can never have too many of those. So that was everything I got. I mean, these 2 piles is everything I got from Deadhead Comics. There's probably stuff that I missed. There's probably stuff that I couldn't see or get to. Well, there's those 6 boxes I couldn't get to. I could tell from looking through this stuff that like some stuff had already been pulled out at some point and sold. Like I said, that first Phantom X, there was no copies of that, but there was an entire run of New X-Men. I think there was an MYX3 in there, if not multiple copies. I think at some point there was an Ultimate Fallout 4 or multiple copies of Ultimate Fallout 4. And I know he let some people go down there, so that would make sense. You know, like those books have been popular for a while. Edinburgh is such a great city. I don't know what the future holds, but there is a piece of me that would love to open up a comic store in Edinburgh, somewhere on a different part of town, so that I'm not directly competing with Deadhead. But it's such an absolutely stunning city. The culture there, the history there, the food there is great. The bookstores, if you're in Edinburgh, you got to go to Topping. That's like the big, awesome bookstore. But Deadhead Comics is the spot. Be nice. He's a nice guy. So if you're nice to him, he's nice to you. If this episode seems a little low energy, I am sick, but feeling better today. And so I wanted to record this so I could get this stuff kind of cleared up and out of here, and to get this out of my head. The next episode, I'll be talking to you about the other comic stores I went to in Scotland. I traveled north, and then I head west, the Isle of Skye, and then I finished my trip off in Glasgow. There's plenty of footage to watch. Expect another meaty episode. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget,
like and subscribe, you little cunt.
And every Wednesday is West Coast Wednesday. I have a new podcast with my friend Manu, the 9.9 Newsstand. It's called It Came From the Newsstand. It's been going on for over a month now. So if you would like to listen, it's on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Google, a bunch of other platforms. There should be a link in my link tree below. And if you are already listening and you like what you hear, do us a favor. Give us a review. It helps get the podcast out to other listeners that may not know us. It's just another piece of this whole Davengers thing that I'm really proud of. And the episodes are a lot of fun. We don't just talk about comics and collectibles. We relate everything to real life. If you're enjoying this, you'll probably enjoy that. I appreciate you for watching and listening. As always, see you next week on the
This is Jeopardy.
No, it's not. West Coast Avengers. I'm sick, but I can still sing a little bit. Can you leave? There's no